guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a tutorial that has been requested by quite a couple of you by now, and I'm really excited to do it because my eyebrow routine is so easy. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it is like 3 steps and you can really cater it to your eyebrows. If your eyebrows are really full or if they're sparse, it's basically the same concept. You just might have to do a little less or a little more and kind of like tweak it here and there. But please do keep in mind, if your eyebrows are not identical, don't freak out. Like everybody says, like your eyebrows are sisters, they are not twins. On some days mine are like distant cousins of some sorts. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into the video. So before we jump into the actual steps of doing your brows, you want to make sure that your eyebrows are waxed or plucked or threaded into the outline that you want, or as close as you can. If your eyebrow hairs are sparse and aren't as full, that's totally fine. We can follow the few hairs that are there after the arch to create that natural shape of your eyebrow. If you don't know exactly where the tail of your eyebrow should end or where the arch should be, because maybe you might not have a very defined arch, you can use your brush to do that. So basically, to find out where your arch would be, you just position your brush here next to your nose, make sure it crosses over the pupil, and right there is where my arch should be. Now, I know some people, like, you don't want to have to like go back and all that stuff, so if you have a little bit of product on your brush or on your brow pencil, whatever, you can literally go like this and then just mark it and just leave it right there. I don't like a really high arch. I like to follow the natural arch of my eyebrow, so I don't mark it or anything like that. But I know some of you out there may not have a defined arch and do want a defined arch, or you may just like not have any arch at all, or you want to fill it in or something like that. So just remember, right here next to the nose, make sure the brush crosses over the pupil and then just mark it right there. If you want to know where your tail should end, you're going to do the exact same thing, but you're not going to cross over through the pupil. You're going to position the brush, it's going to cross right by the end of the eye, and it's going to end right there. So you see where my brush ends? That's where my tail should end. So the same idea. If you do not have a tail or it's too short or anything like that, put a little bit of product on your brush, position the brush by the nose toward the end of the eye, and then just mark it right there with product. So the first thing I like to do is use this e.l.f. wax pencil in clear. I know they have a couple of colors, but I love to use the clear one. I basically use this to go through the eyebrows, and this really lays them down. If you don't have, this is only $2, but if you don't have that at hand or don't want to buy it, you can use clear soap. Just use a damp spoolie, brush it a little bit on the soap, and then just brush through your eyebrows. I find that it makes the eyebrow hairs stay put and also makes them look fuller and wispier. I literally just lightly go through all the hairs just like this, and you're gonna feel it literally feels like you're putting Elmer's glue on your eyebrows. And then I just brush them through with the spoolie. So the second step is we're gonna actually fill in the eyebrows. Now, I do have a couple of little bald spots here and there, so I like to fill it in with like hair-like strokes. Now what you want is a brow brush with a very, very fine tip. This is the Anastasia brow brush. It doesn't have any number or anything like that, but I believe they have 2 different brow brushes. I want to say this one's like number 12. I think they have like number 12 or number 14. Well, whatever it is, I'll just put it in the description box below. And I like to use the Dip Brow Pomade. I know NYX has a really good pomade as well, but I personally really like using a pomade and an angled brush because I feel like it really gives me like those hair-like strokes. I also recommend using a brow pencil that has a really, really fine tip. So you can use the Anastasia Brow Wiz, the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. Here, let me show you guys. You see how it has like a very fine tip? I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but that helps mimic those like hair-like strokes. I personally do not like using like brow crayons or anything like that. I feel like it gives me less control, and it's also like much harsher. You can use either or products. Like you can use a brow pencil and the pomade, or the pomade, it doesn't really matter. I personally like using both because I feel like it gives me like different like intensities, and also it feels like it gives more texture to the brow, so it really like helps mimic that like hair like look that we're going for, especially if you don't have as much hairs back here. You may want to interchange between the brow pencil and the brow pomade, because I don't know, I just feel like it makes it look more like a natural brow. So I'm going to just go directly into the brow pomade, and then I like to take off a little bit of the excess here on my hand, because I feel like sometimes it can pick up way too much product and it'll look too harsh. So the first thing you want to do is brush down the eyebrow, so that way we can really see like where we have any bald spots, and then start filling in from the arch down. So I'm just going in lightly with hair-like strokes. You want to make sure that you don't apply too much pressure. You don't want it to come out too harsh or too dark. After we've done a couple of those hair-like strokes, you want to brush down so it can get really into the hair, and then we're going to go back in and just add a couple more. Now what we want to do is brush all the hairs upward. Now this way it's revealing all the spots we need to fill in through the bottom. We've already filled in the top. Now it's just everything else that's here. So I'm gonna start here where the arch is, because as soon as you pick up product, even if you take off a little bit on your hand, that's when you're gonna have the most product on the brush. And we wanna have a much lighter hand here in the front. We don't want that to be too harsh. So I'm gonna just start here in the arch, and I'm gonna just follow the natural curve of my eyebrow. I'm going in with a really light hand and continuing to do the hair-like strokes. Now with any excess product that we have on the brush, I'm gonna go in and just fill in the front just a little bit. And then we're gonna brush it through. I like this part to be really diffused, so sometimes I just kind of brush upward right there, so it could be much lighter than the rest of the eyebrow. I personally don't like the front to be too harsh. I don't know, everybody likes their eyebrows to look differently, but I do not. Then I'm just gonna grab a teensy bit more product and add a little outline here to the eyebrow. Because even though I like the brows to look natural, I do want like some definition in the bottom. I personally really like doing my eyebrows first before doing my eye makeup and my face makeup, because that way, in case you make like any little errors or anything, you can, it's literally so easy to clean up. I literally go like that with my finger. Look at both my brows.
That brow looks fire though.
So the last thing you want to do, you already have like the wax like in the eyebrows, so any position you put the eyebrows in, it's going to stay. So what I do to give it that wispy look is I brush it upward, all the hairs up, 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 just like that. Okay, and then I literally lay them down so there's no hairs peeking. You see? So they both look very like wispy, natural, bushy. I don't know, but I like my brows to look like this. I feel like it looks like full and nice and microbladed, but without wasting your whole paycheck. Because like now everyone's into like microblading their eyebrows, so they look like full and bushy, but it's like, this shit's expensive
and terrifying.
This, isn't it like,
it looks like little slits in your freaking
don't say that word. I really like to carve the bottom part of my eyebrow. I don't like to carve the top part because I like to keep that like natural look. I mean, let's be real, there's nothing natural about what we're doing, but I don't know, I just like to keep that natural look. So I don't carve the top, I carve the bottom with some concealer. This is the Anastasia concealer in 1.5, and then I use this Wet n Wild concealer brush because it's very like tiny and it costs $1. So if you do want to carve the top part, just use foundation so it looks a little more natch, because I feel like if you use concealer it might look like a little too bright, a little too harsh. So just keep that in mind. Use a little bit of foundation, don't get crazy. So I just put a little bit here. Then I basically just start carving right here in the arch, and then I just start kind of brushing it all the way down. And then I really like to define the front part of the brow, so I add a little more product there. And then I just tap it with my finger to kind of blend it in. I feel like the warmth of your finger helps it blend in really nice, and it looks very, I don't know, it looks cute. Okay, now I have the rest of my face on, so now my brows don't look too harsh, because you know when you have like your brows done only and not your face, like it looks a little strange. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give me a big thumbs up on the video, because it really helps me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Because they have kind of like a round tip, so wait.
Is that good?
I don't know, I said round tip and I got like, I started thinking gross, and I'm like, fuck. Because it has like a round, I can't say round tip without thinking of